We understand that Mr. Juncker is planning a proposal to relocate 120,000 migrants. Is that enough?
No, of course not, but it's a good step forward. It will face a lot of resistance, of course, but I think this is the role of the Commission, to put on the table the common interest of Europe. Then nation states will react according to their national interest or populism or incoming elections. And what we are seeing is not so much a refugee crisis or an immigration crisis. I think it's a collective action problem. And the fact is that every state, nation states wants to go his own way in one, and even if this is not a problem that can be handled by a single member state, not even Germany. But that is the usual drama in Europe, that everybody can see what is the rationale of acting collectively, but then national interest or national incoming elections or et cetera, get vested interest that get into the way. But I think that the Commission has to go forward to stand to the values of European Union and leave the responsibility to member states. Can I just simply remember that years ago, Commissioner Vitorino made a proposal for a common immigration policy, and it was rejected enthusiastically by all member states, even the one that now are calling for European action. So, unfortunately, this collective action problem, which is typical in Europe on many issues, is the problem, is not the number per se. Maybe nobody remembers that if you just call it immigration, we had a much higher number in 2010 when it stood at 750,000 net immigration. Now we are much lower.
Can I ask you, the UK approach compared to Germany and others is, some say, not exactly showing solidarity. Is it right?
Sorry?
The UK's approach, the UK and David Cameron's approach, is not exactly showing solidarity. No,
this is really understatement, let's put it. It has moved forward, by the way, up to now. UK has accepted few hundred refugees, which is quite a shame, frankly speaking. And we are a collective community of 500 million people. That makes the immigration so-called crisis a tiny problem. The real problem is the lack of collective action.
Do you think it will change, that this will impact on any of the fellow EU members' willingness to renegotiate with the UK?
I think that if the Commission stands firm, maybe some better rational arguments will finally find their way instead of hysteria and visible hyperactivity in some moments. Because if you look at the number, the real truth is that we need immigration. We need immigrants. We need them to save our welfare states. And even the UK needs them due to our common demographic decline. But this rational number don't find their way because they are overwhelmed by hysteria, populism, and so on and so forth. But time will be on our side, and that's why I think we should be firm. The Commission should be firm, and I think that even at the end of the day, UK will come to the table and try to look at figures instead of looking at hysteria.
Yeah, and looking actually at the figures, and as you say, maybe we should focus on the figure and not the hysteria, your words, not mine. You were saying this morning, or I think on your Twitter feed, that illegal immigrants make up about 9% of Italian GDP. Do you have any European-wide figures? Because we're not focusing on the figures enough, and it might change what the people think about these refugees arriving.
Yeah, but look, there are plenty of reports coming forward that would simply show that immigration, for instance, inside Europe is an asset for countries like Poland or Bulgaria, or where the remittance are very important budget line. But what is crystal clear from the figures is that immigrants all over Europe are really an asset. They do the job that Europeans don't want to do anymore. And yes, immigration is a problem all over the world. It's not only in Europe, but it can be handled, it can be managed if we separate, let's say, populism and the real truth and the real need of Europe. So if you look at the figures, there is a report coming in the next few days by the European Commission and the German Marshall Fund, as far as I know. And I think that this is the picture we have to look at instead of, yes, emotion is important, and I think that this is correct. But leadership is exactly there for that. It's to lead the people. It's not to follow the emotion or the fear of public opinion.
Should the business community be doing its bit? Is there something that the business community can do to incentivize or spearhead anything?
Yeah, I think that exactly the business community has this important role of looking at the economic trend of immigration in Europe. So your role, I think, is extremely important because it makes it clear something that people, in any case, see in their own daily life. Immigrants do the job that Europeans don't want to do anymore. Look at Italy, but everywhere in Europe is the same thing. They do the job that Italians don't want to do anymore, and in so doing, they are activating and keeping alive services and so on and so forth that we will not be able to do on our own.
Emma Bonino, thank you so much for joining us today. The former Italian Foreign Affairs Minister and European Commissioner for Humanitarian Aid, joining us there over the phone from Rome for a Bloomberg exclusive.